Alright guys, glad to see you again for a new video that was absolutely not planned. I'm giving myself more work, I like it. Originally I was planning to change a front door. We took out the old door and frame, installed the new ones. It was supposed to end there. And when I removed the old frame, I found myself facing a threshold in concrete color. Was it mortar concrete? We'll see that when we break it. It's cracked and ugly, so since we're getting a new front door, we should replace the threshold too. It's brand new, matching the door, which will be beige, and the facade is beige. So I chose travertine. It's going to have a straight edge, this travertine. It also comes with a rounded edge. My supplier only had it in 27 or 28 centimeters wide, but I need at least 35 centimeters. So my minimum width is 35. I'm using the straight edge. It's fine. Gravel will cover the front, so it won't show. But if you want a rounded edge, it exists. That's what is used for pool coping. Mine is travertine, but it could be slate or non-slip tiles. It's really just personal taste. You can use stone from Pierre Paul Jacques or anywhere else. It doesn't matter. The plan is to set a new threshold and eliminate concrete thresholds. So it's easy to make a concrete threshold because you pour the concrete, you make your threshold, and that's it, but it's very ugly. So the weather is a disaster. It rains, then it's sunny, there's wind, it changes every 15 minutes. So I'm going to barricade myself from the inside with extruded polystyrene panels because if I put up a tarp, it's going to fly away. I'm barricading myself inside and breaking everything to keep dust out of the house. We pour the concrete, and once the concrete has dried, we go back outside. I use extruded polystyrene panels to barricade the facade, then we can lay the travertine inside. It can dry along with the tile adhesive and joints. Afterward, we remove the extruded polystyrene panels and install the door. You'll see the door installation in a future video, along with the finished result featuring the travertine. Normally, it should be absolutely beautiful, as Eric Lecaler says so well. So this concrete threshold, it's cracked on this side. It sounds solid and soft on this side. It sounds hollow. So we break everything. We're also going to remove this layer of mortar that's just disgusting, and then we'll fill in the sides as well. We break and remove everything. I wanted a single travertine slab, but I don't have one. So we're going to cheat with 3 travertine tiles that are 3 cm thick. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so the idea for now is to break everything and to cut at the level of the plaster to avoid damaging the plaster. Cleanliness is key. Always clean your area thoroughly before pouring mortar or cement. In short, we vacuum and of course we add water to get a good grip. I put extruded polystyrene panels, scraps in the rails. Since I'll need to use it for the door frame, if I pour concrete in there, well, it's over. I can't use it anymore. So all of this is cleaned up, a rafter as a stop. Of course, it's level, so the idea here is to make 2 concrete rails on each side. And for that, I'm going to use extruded polystyrene, 3 cms, the same thickness as the travertine. So I'll set it at the right final height, and underneath, I'll have the right thickness of concrete. So 1 here, 1 there, and then I pull in that direction. That's the VPI Beton Pro 350 low carbon concrete ready to mix. These are 25 kg bags. I'll probably use 1.5 to 2 bags for the surface area. And then we let it dry well. Once it's dry, we'll be able to stick the travertine with tile adhesive. What about this concrete threshold? How is it? It's nice and dry. And a quick sponge wipe on top makes it a bit grainy, which improves grip. So now that it's dried properly, we can stick our cut travertine on it. Here, it's sticking out on this side, and here, so that it sticks out on this side and the door frame will come over the travertine. I've had this aluminum ruler all along. So there are the stories to make sure it's aligned, and on top there's a rafter. I intentionally staggered the extruded polystyrene panels, so all around the edge, there you go, it's staggered. That way I'll be able to use a clamp and hold the door frame in a vise. At least I'll have my hands free to install my chemical anchors and so on. You'll see that in an upcoming episode, but it's going to be pretty good. With, of course, the clamp, the silicone and so on. The glue, basically, the whole thing is the same for the floor. So it won't be on the travertine. You will see that in a bit, because the travertine, I'm going to stop about here, and then I need to go flat because here we have a slope. So if I start putting my travertine, if it's slanted all the way, obviously the threshold, you see what I mean? We walk on it. Even with glue underneath, we risk deforming it. You need to be as flat as possible at the door threshold. So I'll stop here. And then I'll use quick setting glue, either for tiles or quick setting mortar to make it nice and flat again. We'll see about that in a little while. So the small beam, like I told you, is for the clamps. Now all we have to do is apply our primer with the brush, and the primer is right here. It's the VPI Prima Universelle, and then with the VPI Polyflex Premium 2, V411 adhesive. So it's a deformable white T2S1 adhesive. 4 floors, max size 120, x 120, for walls 120, x 300, covers 5-6 SQM per bag. Make sure you have more than enough. Floor heating, pool, this is the bottom of a bag, but I have more than enough to glue about 2.5 bolster tiles. And then once that's done, we can put in the little joints that fit perfectly. Firefighter color, it'll be perfect. I removed the old frame. Flashing isn't needed because of the good slope. We're higher than the gravel, and compared to the gate, I must have about 10 meters. We're about 70 centimeters higher than the level of the gate. So if there are heavy rains or flooding, it'll drain away without any issues. I've already washed the old door thoroughly. Since nothing got inside, I'm not concerned. For this one, what you need is to make sure it's well sealed underneath. So silicone, polymer glue, compressible tape, the whole package. You really go all out. That's why I mentioned travertine earlier. We create a good slope, and then I make it flat and the threshold really with good waterproofing underneath, and the water won't get through, okay? But be careful. Make sure to think about disabled access. I'm not saying you need to do a ridgingo, but we can easily do it in travertine if needed. I cut strips the width of my threshold. So in travertine, that's 3 centimeters thick. I glue it onto the concrete. Then I lay travertine to cover the concrete by 1 centimeter. There's a 2 cm gap left plus the 3 cm threshold thickness, so it's easy to step over. We could also lay 1 cm of travertine on top of 3 cm travertine strips, plus the threshold that goes over the travertine. That leaves a 4 cm gap. That's easy for me to step over, but you have to consider it for someone with reduced mobility. She'll say, yes, but I can't get past 4 cm because I have trouble lifting my legs due to being in a wheelchair. So now you'll say, you have gravel, so a wheelchair is pointless. You're supposed to have a hard surface access. If you have disabled access, you need to think about it. So for me, it's a residence, it's private. I'm fine for now, unless I sell the house tomorrow. There is a person with a disability, so in a wheelchair, I'm supposed to have at least disabled access for the door, so at ground level. You need plates and solid access, which must be considered. At our place, we have sliding glass doors, I'm being honest. There must be 5 to 6 centimeters of total thickness for the concrete threshold, flashing, and sliding glass door threshold combined. That makes quite a step for you, right? So for us, it's fine, but do think about people with reduced mobility. the little template that really helped me remove the thickness of the tile. Okay, so my threshold. Of course, I checked that the tile was level, the cross piece is level, and here it's level as well. This is quick setting tile adhesive. Now I can install the door threshold using polymer adhesive, plus the backing rod. And by scraping this part, then rests against the stained cross piece. The medium density fiberboard or plywood rests against the tile. The material doesn't matter. And by scraping, of course, I remove the thickness of the tile. It's as simple as that. Remove as much thickness as needed, but leave a centimeter under your door to avoid it rubbing the tile. Okay, so now we can remove the formwork. Remove the beam and extruded polystyrene panels and address the edge of the through-dyed piece. So of course, I'll film it for you, but you'll see that the door is installed, that in the meantime, I will have installed the door. And as for installing the door, we'll see that in a future video. All right, the threshold is done. Concrete glue, tiles through dyed piece, grout. And I have a threshold that fits the door. You could say the door is like a new shoe. Installing such a beautiful door on a concrete threshold would have really bothered me. I would have sworn regardless. And then the threshold was cracked. It was ugly. Honestly, it took me, let's say, an extra day and a half, but I'm really happy with the result. Well, tastes and colors aren't up for debate, or maybe they can be discussed in some cases. But honestly, it's a solid color, it's classic, it's beige, it goes with everything and matches the color of the door. It doesn't clash at all. So I'm happy with the result. We'll see how long it lasts. The solid color outdoors. With the product I'm going to use, I haven't applied it yet. It's a water repellent product. I'll apply it during the video. Installing the door. Normally it needs to be redone every year, but I know I saw at a colleague who sells tiles had a 2-component product for through body coloring. He told me it's a pain to apply. You need to do it only when there's no dust or leaves blowing outside, or else it'll stick inside and be a hassle. To remove it, you'll have to sand everything again. But it's a 2-component product. He could keep it, I think. It has a 5-year outdoor warranty and it's non-slip. I should check that, but I don't have much now. It's easy to redo and I do it every year. I didn't show you the disc I used to cut the through-dyed part. Here it is, a segmented disc. It works well for through-dyed material or a 3 cm thick concrete slab with the added benefit of being offset. So you can cut right up against the wall without having a guard getting in your way on the grinder. Or the ring, there's no ring, we're directly on the M14 fitting. Just screw on your disc to cut close to the wall, but be careful on facades as it can strip them. Feel free to ask questions. Take care. See you next video.